It began with noise. Not sound exactly, but something closer to pressure. An overlapping murmur that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. People woke up thinking they had left a radio on, or that a neighbor was talking through the walls. Then they realized the voices were following them outside. A woman walking her dog froze as a clear, startled thought brushed her mind. Too many smells. Why are you tense? The air is wrong today. She dropped the leash. Within hours, the truth spread faster than panic ever had. Humans could hear the thoughts of animals. Not words, as animals would never speak them, but impressions translated perfectly into meaning. Hunger, fear, curiosity, memory, instinct sharpened into something startlingly articulate. Cities became unbearable. Pigeons flooded sidewalks with frantic commentary about crumbs and threats. Rats narrated the underground like nervous cartographers mapping danger and abundance in equal measure. Insects formed a constant background hiss of urgency and survival. Shelters overflowed as people could no longer ignore the quiet terror of caged minds pleading for space, for movement, for anything that resembled choice. Farms changed overnight. Cows spoke in slow, heavy thoughts of routine and discomfort, of aching bodies bred for yield rather than endurance. Chickens pulsed with fragmented fear, 1,000 small alarms overlapping until farmers couldn't step into a coop without feeling crushed by it. Slaughterhouses shut down within days, not because of laws, but because workers collapsed under the weight of knowing exactly what waited ahead, and how clearly the animals understood it. Pets were the most devastating. Dogs did not think in sentences, but in loyalty so dense it bordered on pain. Every absence felt like abandonment. Every raised voice landed as confusion, not resentment. Cats, aloof as ever, revealed inner worlds of observation and judgment, but also of attachment carefully rationed. People cried listening to the quiet, steady affection that had always been there, unnoticed. Wildlife offered no comfort. Forests were loud with caution. Deer counted escape routes. Birds measured wind and distance with mathematical precision. Predators did not think of cruelty, only balance, but prey lived in a constant present tense of readiness. Nature, stripped of romantic silence, revealed itself as relentless awareness. Scientists tried to study it, but there was no separating observer from subject anymore. Zoos emptied as visitors fled from the layered despair of captivity. Conservation efforts exploded, not from guilt alone, but from negotiation. For the first time, humans could ask animals what they needed, and for the first time, the answers were specific, inconvenient, and impossible to ignore. Not all thoughts were simple. Whales carried songs that were also maps, histories of oceans warming and cooling, memories passed like heirlooms. Elephants remembered generations, losses stacking on losses, their grief slow and immense. Corvids mocked human certainty with sharp flashes of amusement and planning. Even trees through the fungal networks beneath forests whispered of stress and recovery, of drought approaching long before the skies admitted it. The world grew quieter as humans learned to listen selectively. Minds adapted, filtering the constant flow the way eyes ignore the nose in the center of vision. But some voices broke through no matter what. Extinction screamed. Entire species thought in thinning echoes, their collective awareness shrinking, paths once familiar now empty. Humans felt the absence before it happened, like a thought trailing off mid-sentence. It was no longer possible to pretend loss was abstract or distant. There were protests, of course. Some people demanded silence back, calling the connection a curse. Technology emerged promising filters, dampeners, shields. A few succeeded, allowing the wealthy to buy their way back into ignorance. But most people couldn't fully turn it off. Even muted, the knowledge remained. Children adapted best. They grew up assuming other minds mattered by default. They learned that stepping on an insect meant ending a tiny narrative, not just a life. They asked animals questions not with voices, but with attention. The world they inherited was smaller, slower, and far more complicated, but also more honest, Years later, a man sat beside a river where fish darted through water heavy with memory and instinct. He listened without intrusion, letting the current carry thoughts past him. For the first time in his life, the planet felt crowded, but not lonely. Humanity had spent centuries speaking at the world. Now it had learned what it meant to be spoken back to. And once you truly hear another mind, even one without words, you can never again pretend you are alone, or that your choices echo only inside yourself.